Michael Munro, England fan, joining us now. Michael, can you hear us?
I certainly can.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks guys. How are you doing?
Very well, Michael, thank you.
Not too bad. Now, listen, we get a little bit of information when our callers come through, and our bit on our information sheet here says, Michael Munro, Man City fan, but that's fine, we won't hold that against you. In the second half against Ukraine, you said England probably looked the most solid you can ever remember seeing them play. Now, when I said that to Nigel said, what is he, 6 years old? I have to agree with him. I'm not sure. I sort of, yeah, maybe solid, but I just think that the thing about England so far, Mike, is that I think we respond to other teams, and we then we cope with what they do, but we don't seem to control a match, and I haven't seen us really take the initiative in any of the games. Would you think that's fair, or do you disagree with me?
No, absolutely. I think you are right. I think the point I was trying to make is just that I don't think I've ever seen an England team look like as much of a team as the second half. It might sound like a bit of an old English football cliche, but to see those two sort of solid banks of four was quite refreshing. Often in international football, I think you don't tend to see, the best of a team. You see brilliant individuals making a difference to a game, and I think that perhaps that's what Hodgson is bringing to this England side, is bringing a bit more of a team mentality and making them play together a little bit more convincingly.
Mike, I have to say, I agree with you. Did you watch the game tonight?
Yeah, I was dipping in and out.
Well, did you see the first goal for Spain, which Javier Alonso scored, a great header, his 100th cap tonight, and he scored 2 goals. But did you see where he ran from? He actually ran off Malouda, who just let him run off him, didn't even try to get back. And that wouldn't happen in this England team now, what you're saying. I think that everybody's got the belief, they know their jobs, they're working for each other. You wouldn't see an England player go, well, I'm going to let him run and I'm going to wait until we get the ball. They're all organised. I agree with you.
Exactly, and I think that's epitomised by the point that I think Chris made in the fan zone whilst watching that game, talking about Ashley Young. I think Darren Lewis was trying to say that Ashley Young's been a bit disappointing in this tournament, but as Chris was saying, he's he has really contributed in that sort of sense. He's been tracking back and he's been keeping his man. If he'd been in that same position as Malouda, I think he would have either followed Javier Alonso back in tonight.
Yeah. So do we think, with that said, Michael, do we think England could somehow miraculously win this thing?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? I think, to be honest, it's quite refreshing actually, England coming into a tournament and the whole nation not having huge expectations of them. I think there's been a lot of pressure heaped on them in the past, and coming into this tournament, we're perhaps looking at it thinking, what can we expect from perhaps one of the weaker squads that we've been to a major tournament with. So I think what the boys are doing at the minute is probably just exceeding everyone's expectations. So I think it's quite nice actually to be going into a game and recognising ourselves as the underdogs. So if we were to do anything, it would be, to pull off a bit of a miracle. Hopefully, it wouldn't be in the style of Greece, a few years back, where they were sort of soaking up all the opposition's play. But I think any England fan would probably take that, wouldn't they?
I think, Mark, I think you're right. I think the Italians have start favourites with the bookies to win this game. I think we are the underdogs again. But I just feel the same as you, and I think Chris and everybody is just thinking, well, this is an England team at the moment. It's not individuals. Everybody's working hard for each other. It seems a good mix in the team, a good spirit. And then you've got the players off the bench who have come on to good effect. Roy's used them really well, and that's why we've won games. And it's going to be really exciting tomorrow. I feel if we can get the tactics right and then use it from the bench, I think we've got a good chance of getting through. And then the Germans are ahead, but we'll wait and see if we get there.
Listen, Michael, people
Yeah.
often say that England fans now are slightly fickle and maybe they don't get behind the team so much. Out of interest, how much money would you accept personally for England not to win the Euros? So if I was to say offer you £1,000, would you take England not winning it?
You realise you're talking to a student there.
Okay, let's £8. Let's start lower. £8.
What's your bar bill at the moment?
To be honest, I obviously I would call myself an England fan because I'm a football fan and I'm an Englishman. Yeah. So I always get behind the national team, but I've sort of despaired in recent years, and I do feel that there's a major problem with the way the English football system is geared towards the national side, to be quite frank. I think if you look at a team like Germany, who went away after, I think it was after the Euros prior to the World Cup, and absolutely rejuvenated the way that their system works. I think something similar needs to be done within the England setup. So I do often find myself, sorry to say, but in the Sweden game, when Sweden's second goal went in, you know, I found myself sort of half laughing at the situation, to be honest, rather than you know, being absolutely gutted, because I half wonder whether, you know, we need something big to happen to the national side. I think if we were to go on and sort of fumble through as the underdogs and win this one, it might be somewhat papering over the cracks.
Yeah, well, it is one of those. I think we'll answer a question with take a grand. But listen, Michael, we've got to move on. It's an absolute pleasure, mate. You've made some great points, and it's a pleasure to have you on. And hopefully, we'll speak to you throughout the tournament as England progress.
Thanks very much, guys.
Take it.
Cheers, Michael.
Take it easy, pal. Speak to you soon.